And we're back. Welcome, everyone, to another voyage. It is Thursday, November the 14th. Welcome to another episode of At the Helm with Kelly and Wayne.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Wayne. So it's time to get on board. It's time to join us for another voyage. So put all your bags up, put all your belongings up, make your way to your favorite place, grab something to eat, grab something to drink, find a comfortable seat, and join us.
Come on in.
Yes, come on in. Let us do what we need to do. So again, we are glad to be back on these airways one more time. Lots happened in the last 2 weeks, and I guess we're here for all of it.
Let's talk about it. So this is our voting sticker.
Yep, there's our voting sticker.
We voted.
Yes, we did.
Now what?
Now we keep working. We keep working.
But we do talk about I've had a week to process. The night of the election, I turned the TV off probably about 11 o'clock. I was with my grandchildren, my one granddaughter who was tuned in to her phone, keeping up with how the electoral votes was coming in. She was concerned. She kept saying, look at this number. Oh my God, look at this number. And, in that moment at 9-10 o'clock, it was like, okay, we're not going to panic. Remain calm. This is how it does. The red numbers come in first. There are smaller counties. They're going to get that number. We're not going to panic. Okay. Stay calm. Let's stay calm. And I wanted to kind of settle her because she's 10. She's 10 years old, but she was in tune,
engaged.
She was concerned. She went with us to vote. So she, got the chance to go into the booth, color in the little dot. So she was all in.
Mm-hmm.
So I just felt like it was, and at the time, like I wasn't, not that I was telling her something that I didn't believe myself. I really thought it's not time to panic. It's not time to panic. And so there was so much anxiety that I just stopped watching, turned on some Modern Family, I think, just something mindless, played a little Candy Crush, fell off to sleep, not knowing. And then at 4 o'clock or 4:30, I just woke up out of my sleep, checked the telephone,
and they said,
and received the news.
Give us Barrabas. That's what they decided. Give us the murderer. Give us the thief. Give us not the one who's come to help us. So yeah, it was definitely, how was, anyone in the chat, how were you feeling, kind of what was going on? Because it was a numb feeling for a moment, but then it was also, it's what this country's always been. So it was really different because I did have some hope that, after they had their Klan rally in New York in Madison Square Garden, that, there would be a large number of people who would, morals would step up and say, we don't, we definitely don't want that. But hey, so there was a lot of hope. But then
I had
again,
no hope in that. But
I mean, you know,
I had no hope in that.
yeah, I mean,
Because if that were going to be a difference, there would not even have been a contest.
yeah.
There
Oh
would
yeah,
not have been a contest.
yeah. I'm just
So,
saying before it even started, you know, before that night, I mean, it was just like, yeah, this is an opportunity for, the morals to come out. But, again,
and there is always hope that this country will be what it says it is, that it will be what it claims to be.
Langston Hughes said
But
this
then you
country has
come,
never been what
America was never
never.
was America to me. And so thinking about Langston Hughes, thinking about Fannie Lou Hamer, thinking about Nat Turner,
Yes.
you come to realize that I went to sleep on Tuesday night to a country, the same country I woke up to on Wednesday morning.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It was the same country.
Reality.
And this is kind of how I evaluate kind of all my relationships. Like, what was my expectation of the relationship? Like, I know that, a lot of people have been in relationships, friendships, relationships where you thought the relationship was something different than what the relationship actually is.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of where I find myself.
Oh yeah.
I allowed myself to believe that this place where they expect you to stand up and salute the flag and all of this, just be mad at Michelle Obama because she says for the first time I can be proud of this country, that this country would be the place that you hope that it could be. And that there was, we've elected Barack Obama twice. So there was this hope that people would not choose somebody to be president of the United States who can't even run a charity in New York City because he is a thief.
Yes.
He is not allowed to run a charity. Y'all hear me? A charity. He can't run the charity because he stole from the charity. He has 34 felony convictions. He is a convicted sexual assaulter. I don't even understand how there was even a conversation. But 81 million people of a wide diaspora of every pocket went to the polls, and that is what they voted for. That is the country that I fell asleep to on Tuesday night. And it is exactly the country that I woke up to on Wednesday morning. So with that said, so once you realize that you're in a relationship that's kind of one-sided, you pivot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just kind of where I am. Like, I have continued to take these deep breaths, continue to reflect, remember to unclench this jaw.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so much anger and frustration, but that's because me projected onto something else what I thought we could be. And that's on me. That's on me. And again, there's plenty of relationships where I thought we were something and you showed me that we were something else. And now I move accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this is going to be. That's what this is going to be. So we know. We know. And we can talk about the exit polls. We can talk about the majority of white women, white men, Latino men. We can talk about those who went to the polls and said, this is give us Barrabas. And so we keep making this reference. And again, and this was also one of the things that kind of got on my nerves was these Christians, this Christianity. And I am a follower of Christ, but just to sit here in this privilege and to think that everybody knows who Barrabas is, it kind of goes with what this whole country is like. I was tired of people saying, it ain't the donkey or the elephant for me. It's always been the lamb. Last week wasn't the time for me. God is always in control. He is. And God was in control for 400 years when Black people were enslaved in this country. The same God. Because what we know is he don't change, right? That's what we know. So I wasn't in the mood. I wasn't in a place to hear from the Christian people. Cut it out. But here we are tonight with this reference. So for people who don't know who Barrabas is, and you are, because you're not a follower of Christ, or you're not Christian, or maybe this is just not a story that you're aware. This is when Jesus was crucified, and they took him to Pontius Pilate.
Yep.
And it was Jesus and Barrabas. Barrabas, who was clearly guilty.
A murder.
Clearly. Jesus, who was without sin. He asked the people, who should I free? And the people said, free Barrabas.
Yep.
So that's what happened. That's what happened last week.
Yep. And that references a lot to, that reference a lot was to the evangelicals too. The people who claim they are the moral majority, the evangelicals who claim they are the most moral, but went and colored in a dot and pulled a lever for the felon. And so, some of that reference was to that, to where, you claim you serving God and you want to protect this great land from Christian, to keep their Christian beliefs and values. So, that's what they wanted. But those are the same ones again who, will tell you that this nation was built upon Christian principles. And so they just continue to lie. They continue to lie.
But we already know, like this is the thing. We know these people are not, we know they don't love Jesus.
Yeah.
We know you can't love Jesus and think that this is the person who Jesus sent. A man who has 5 children by 3 wives, each one who he cheated on before. Like we know that that's not the person. I mean, I don't know which Jesus, which God they serve, but you got to know that that's not the, when you talk about the 10 commandments, he has probably broken every single one of them
twice.
So no, we know that that's not what this is. We know that that's not what this is. Yep. And it can't be just, about abortion, because I'm going to tell y'all something. The way I interpret a couple of scriptures in the Bible, it tells you how to have an abortion. It's in the Bible that they love so much.
It's in the book.
So we know that it's not that. We know that it's not that. So again, it was a huge disappointment. Again, Black women were the ones who try to stand up and save democracy, like Black women have always done.
The champions.
Black women who have always allowed this country, literally and figuratively, to suckle from our bodies in order for it to be nourished. Black women went to the polls and Black women did what they were supposed to do. Now, I, as a Black woman, am falling back. Like, I don't want to hear nothing about no people of color, because clearly these people are not of color. They don't see themselves that way. There's a whole community who align themselves with whiteness. So Black and brown is probably not really, it's not a thing. It's not a thing to the 55% of Latino men. And Latino women kind of went and canceled them out. So
a little bit. Yeah.
I don't know. And North Carolina was, North Carolina was strange, because our governor, Josh Stein, got more votes than both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Mm-hmm. The lieutenant governor is a Democrat. The attorney general also got more votes than Kamala Harris and that dude.
School superintendent.
Mm-hmm. Mo Green was a Democrat. He won. But there was a Black woman also on that slate for the state council.
Auditor.
The governor's council, like the
state.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
She lost. I mean, she lost. So North Carolinians went to the polls and voted for Josh Stein and then voted for Donald Trump because Donald Trump carried North Carolina. So
Mhm.
these are things like you can't even try to make sense of it because it don't make sense. It makes no sense. And so now you have people who are wondering, what do we do? What do we do? I'm taking care of me. I'm centering me.
Mhm.
I am doing self-care for me. I am issuing no's. I'm not coming. I'm not coming. Um, I'm not.
Tapping that.
Yep. So but this is where we are. But what I know and what one of these so-called allies posted a meme, what we know is that life goes on. And what we know is that Black people are resilient. We know how to get through a crisis. We will overcome this. But I think you're going to see, especially from Black women, you're going to see that we move a little bit differently because now we know that this is a one-sided relationship. And
Mhm.
sometimes people stay. Sometimes people stay in the relationship. They try to make them work out. That ain't my testimony. I'm out. I'm out. And I think you will see that a lot of Black women are going to, again, focus on themselves, continue to do the work that fulfills us, of course.
Mhm.
But I'm not trying to ally with nobody. Not in this moment. And that's just me. However you are getting through this, I see Jenny said she was heartsick. However you can get through it, Jenny, I hope that you get through it.
Mhm.
As for me, there will be some falling back moving forward because when people show you who they are, you have to believe them. Like you have to believe them. So that's where I am. It's been a week and a day that I've had time to process it. I've not really changed my mind since Wednesday. I've been in this place. Um, Wayne and I actually went out somewhere on Thursday, maybe last Thursday. When we went to a ribbon cut.
Oh yeah.
It was in that moment that I knew.
Not ready to be out in public.
Wayne actually had to say to me, "You're not ready to be outside." And he was right. So I'm going to continue to take care of me.
Mhm.
And I hope people will find whatever brings you joy. One thing I will say is rest. Rest is resistance. We come from a people, our ancestors, who were not allowed to rest, who worked from can't see in the morning to can't see at night. And so it just seems like that is kind of ingrained in us that we feel like we have to just keep going and going and be working and working and working. But I'm going to rest. I'm going to rest. Um, I am going to be grateful for the things that are in my life. I am going to continue to try to leave a better world for my granddaughter who was in a panic, who was so upset about the results. Like she's 10. She's 10, and I hope that when she's 50, she's not having these conversations. So
Yeah. Definitely.
that's what we're at. But I heard Dr. Jason Johnson last week. He is a professor at Morgan State University. And he was saying that you know how we always say you plant the seed and you may not ever get shade from the tree, but it's for somebody else. And so he talked about how if I think about my grandparents
Mhm.
who um their parents who kind of struggled through the civil rights. Like my grandparents were having they already had children, like in the 60s, like they already had their families. So they were, not really able to fully live out the civil rights era. Like they were born before that. And even, just the generations who always are doing the work, who don't really get to see, you don't get to live, the Jim Crow era was them. They didn't really get to live in the civil rights era. And then, each one of these things come along. And even before that, we're still talking about the descendants of the Tulsa 1921 Tulsa bombing. There are still people who are living from that, who have this, we just have this trauma bond that we just continue to keep going, that we will probably not see the fruits of this labor from this administration another 40 years. So if you're 40, if you're 30, 40, 50 right now, you may not get to see the fruits of your labor from what damage and destruction this administration, who would appoint someone who's under investigation for underage, having sex with underage girls, to be our top law officer. It makes no sense. But I say that to just say we may not see it. Martin Luther King say, I may not get there with you.
But I've been to the mountaintop.
But we got to keep doing this work. We got to keep doing this work. So this burning in my belly, it's got to go. It can't stay. I'll keep taking these deep breaths. So I don't know. But I am going to take care of me.
Yeah.
Self-care is not self-indulgence. I should have saved that. That's going to be my disembarkation. Self-care is not self-indulgence.
Yeah. I mean, self-care is self-care.
Self-care is self-care. It's not selfish.
No. Self-care can't be selfish if you have to take care of yourself. So Trinette says she had to take off her cape. And that's what we have to do. We have to, step away every now and then. And, everybody has that moment in life where you think you can't do anymore. You're done. You're tapped out. And we go through those moments, but we have to stay encouraged. And, hopefully there's some folks around and some people around that can help lift you and encourage you. And you have that circle that you can lean and depend on.
Yeah. And I think that's definitely going to be important moving forward. Black women, find your community. Yeah. Find your community. And that means everything. Like I need my dry cleaner to be from my community.
Mm-hmm.
I need the person cutting my grass to be from my community.
Yeah.
Now there are some things like, we got to figure out all these people who gave this money, like Hobby Lobby. The money you gave was not for my, the people who you chose to give that money to. So we have to speak and protest with our dollars as well. And I know sometimes we don't always do that. Black Friday coming up and we probably going to be out there.
Yeah. So, yeah. But it's, we have to, and part of that is, self-care. There's, we always want to be part of organizations and sometimes part of movements and part of, what a large group may be doing. But individually, part of that self-care can be your own boycotts and boycotts and whatever you want to do to make your, to make you, again, be part of that self-care, to be part of that, whatever that does for you. And that's what we have to continue to do is, so yeah, Brenda said, we have to see it for what it is. Yes, this is not the America that I dreamed of for our future generation. Yeah.
And it's like every generation, like we give us a new fight. Every generation we are fighting the same fight.
Mm-hmm.
Every generation we're fighting the same fight. This is the fight of my mama. This is the fight of my but again, you have this hope for this relationship
Yeah.
That this relationship will flourish and be what you know it can be. But once they show you who they are, you got to believe them, and then you have to pivot and press forward. And whatever that looks like for you is different. Like I said, some people stay, try to work it out. I don't know. And leaving this country where we can trace our my roots back 6-7 generations, leaving is not an option because the soil of the blood of my ancestors is in this soil.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they want you to do. Build something and leave it for them to take it over. And that's not where I am. So fleeing the country is not my first option. I do have my passport.
Yeah.
If I need to, but it's not my first option because I'm not leaving the blood, sweat, tears, life that was left in this soil for somebody else to claim it. Like Dr. Field, like he don't know who built this country.
Yeah. And they know.
They know.
They know. They just, yeah. And that's one thing, that, yeah, we just have to continue to, yeah, keep the fight, and to be encouraged and know that, this system is working the way that it was set up to work. And we have to continue to dismantle. Yeah, Trinette, that feeling is a feeling that sometimes is undescribable. But one thing that we can't do is allow people to control the narrative. That's kind of what got us in this situation to start with. Misinformation and disinformation. And I think, one thing for me is to continue to combat this misinformation and disinformation. The first thing that we heard, it was a landslide. It was this, it was that. The winner didn't get any more votes, a few more than they got last time. They kept their base. So it's not like 20 million more people decided, oh, this is a great way to go. It was the same amount of people. Just a few more, same amount of people that continued. But, it was the apathy and the 14 million people that did not show up. So shout out to all the folks who decided they were going to give it to the Democrats. And I'm going to show you with my protest vote. And I mean, now, you made your stance, and now you can see, the collateral damage that may take place. And, if you can sleep at night after doing that, more power to you. Voting is a responsibility that we have. And when it turns into a selfish act, which, you have the right to do that. You have the right to vote your own will in your own way, and you don't have to care about nobody else. But, I feel like being responsible is looking, when we lift from the bottom, and we can make sure that everyone has an opportunity in life. So, for those who decided they had to do what they had to do,
I mean, we respect it. Everybody had their red line.
Yeah.
My red line was to vote for a person of moral character.
Yes.
That was my red line.
Yeah.
That was mine.
Yeah.
So whatever yours was, that was yours.
Yeah.
Hey, Vincent, we love you too. And Vincent said we're so inspirational. And we hope that you do find inspiration in this. I want to go back and say something about when you said that no new people showed up to vote for Donald Trump. He got 71 million this time, or 74 million last time. That was his base. He turned out his base.
Mm-hmm.
What he was effective at doing was keeping the Democrats at home.
Yeah.
People who saying, I ain't voting for her because she ain't black. She locked up black men. She's soft on crime. So how you going to lock up black men and be soft on crime? Like, pick one.
Yeah.
But what they were effective at doing was telling people to stay home. You didn't hear not one country music singer saying, withhold your vote.
None.
Nobody on the other side was saying withhold your vote. You didn't hear nobody on the other side saying it's the lesser of two evils, because they don't use that language about themselves.
Nope.
You don't hear them saying that. You only hear that on the one side because they know that this one side is the most engaged, the most effective when not when a campaign of disinformation and misinformation is not hauled against them.
Yes.
When you go in there and you try to have everyone fighting against themselves. The other side, he was very effective at saying, I'm staying home because Kamala want to give the trans community operations. Like, what they got to do with you?
Yeah.
But they were very, and that the fact that it was not true. But this is what I'm saying. When you hear this language, know that this language is only directed at one side. Because there ain't no radio host over here saying we're not voting for him because he orange.
Yeah.
Nobody's saying that. That man is from Germany. He is from German roots. Who's saying he want white? That man, every wife that he's had except one has been an immigrant.
Who's saying that?
But he can come in and say, we don't like immigrants. You just want to have babies with them. You don't like them. But nobody on the other side is saying they're not putting this information out there. There's only one side. Like I said, that this language is only for one side. They were effective at having those people not show up. He didn't turn out any more votes, but he was effective at having 15 million people who did show up for Joe Biden not show up for her.
That's right.
That's effective. This is why you have to be informed and not be so easily manipulated. But they ran a good campaign on that, and here we are. So
here we are.
Yep. Here we are. And so y'all, have heard the saying, fish around and find trout.
Yeah.
That's the clean version.
The clean version.
F around and find out. We did the F around stage. We did that. We're now in the find out stage. So
we are there.
We're here.
Yeah. And I think we just have to be mindful and again of the misinformation and the disinformation and where we get our information from. And you have to realize, who out here has your best interests, communities with a S, multiple communities, best interests. And when people are transactional, and we have found out that most media is transactional. Shout out to Charlemagne, who continued up until the last day collecting his check. Who knows? Maybe he'll get a job in the cabinet because he helped put him in, because he allowed people to come on that show who has millions of listeners and did his communities and society and every moral community a disservice of allowing disinformation and not challenging it, not pushing back.
Who was the equivalent to Charlemagne on the other side? Nobody.
So again, that money that continues to allow the people to grift over and over again, and to hear that information. And again, like you said, there was no people on the other side that said, stay home, don't vote, none of that.
Nobody.
But you hear certain celebrities, and we have to just be mindful again of where we get this information. And we've said it before, and I will continue to say it. A source of information, Sirius XM, channel 126, is information that is factual information. It's information that continues to help communities grow, and that is inclusive to all. So
it's also one of these platforms that we might be concerned about, because if he has his way, you want to get rid of the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. You don't want no EEOC. You definitely don't want no Urban View. No. Oh yeah. I mean, freedom of the press is definitely something they're going after. Yeah. So
I mean, so there's,
but hey, y'all's red line was y'all's red line.
yeah,
So.
your red line.
And I know we ain't talking to nobody here. We're not talking to nobody here, but your friends,
yeah,
your neighbors,
they
had those red lines.
Who had the red lines?
They just could not, in good conscience.
Could not, in good conscience.
So hey,
we're here.
We're here.
And so you can see how this is lining up. So hopefully again, you can sleep and you can move forward and hope your conscience stays good. And hopefully there's no remorse, no voter's remorse later on. So we'll see. There's a lot of issues that was put out there. So, but we have to continue to again control the narrative, continue to look at what we can do here. There's a lot of things that they're going to be able to do on the federal level, but there's a lot of things that we're going to be able to do here in North Carolina. Hopefully, that we can continue to push. Hopefully, there's a primary. I mean, there's a midterm in 2 years.
Hopefully,
hopefully, there's a midterm in 2 years.
There's supposed to be.
But they're going to try their best to, I feel like, move that out of the way, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. One less thing you got to do on the first Tuesday in November is go out and vote. They have anything to do with it, but we're going to continue. As Frederick, said after that Dred Scott decision, and after his message to, what to the enslaved is the 4th of July. Your continued abuse, and I'm paraphrasing, your continued abuse and your continued immoral acts.
While y'all celebrating freedom.
Yeah, while you're celebrating freedom. All of these things that you continue to do is really just going to embolden our agitation and really make us push back even more. So
we don't, I mean, I know it sounds like doom and gloom, but we're going to be all right. But go ahead and start girding up your loins.
Yeah.
Gird up your loins.
Look out for your neighbors.
Your finances in order.
Look out for, friends. Get
your passport.
Neighbors, yes, definitely. Keep your head on a swivel everywhere you go. And
be safe out here in these streets, because there is no like where you gonna go? The Department of Justice was just handed to Matt Gaetz.
A little girl lover.
Allegedly, reportedly.
I mean, who was not Mike Johnson? Who was the speaker before Mike Johnson?
McCarthy
that they got rid of. I mean, he came out and said the reason that he is no longer the Speaker of the House because the Ethics Committee was long before he got there, so he didn't start it. But the Ethics Committee wanted to continue the investigation of one senator, we won't call no names, who had a congressman who had a relationship with a 17-year-old girl. And he was like, hey, the Ethics Committee is doing this. And he was like, we need to let them do their job. So when he wanted to continue to do that, then not much longer, he's no longer Speaker of the House. And the little girl lover is, now set to be.
And once he resigns from Congress, the investigation stops. So these people know. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
But so we talked about self-care. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on from that. We will actually be leaving on Monday to indulge in some week-long self-care.
Oh yeah.
So unplugged, I am looking forward to that. But on the other hand, I will be peopling with people who I do not know.
But we don't really have to people, but with 3 people.
But I will be around people. I have to maneuver, be in elevators.
Oh yeah.
Be in eating places. I have to be in peopling with people.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. But I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Probably looking forward to being
not going to go well.
I mean, it's gonna go. It'll be fun. We'll be with my mama and Aunt Shane.
That's gonna be so. And so I thought, is Unshane on here with us this evening? Because I thought about her. I thought about her this evening because there was, you know, how people are always doing these memes on social media and these questions. It said something about if you could, if the only way you could get, I don't know if it said 30 million, 1 million, a couple $1 million or whatever, and you needed somebody to say something, you know, off the wall, who would be the first person you call? She was the first person that I thought of. First person I thought of.
Please call her because
Yeah.
you're gonna get a payday.
We would be paid.
You're gonna get a huge payday.
paid. Oh, her sister's watching though, so maybe she'll let her know that.
Hello, mother.
Yes. greatest person I know.
So what else? What else is up?
So yeah, I'm looking forward again to this getting away on the vacation.
Then the following week is Thanksgiving.
Yes, following week is Thanksgiving.
That Thursday night is Thanksgiving, which means we will not be here. We're going to enjoy our family. Well, we're going to have breakfast that morning. So
yes,
everybody knows you're invited.
Yes.
To breakfast. So we have a big breakfast. I say we're going to be enjoying our family, but we might not. At the breakfast.
I love you.
Oh, she said she on. After breakfast, we might be done.
Yeah.
Shang is here.
She said, I'm on, and I took that as, oh, I'm on you.
Yeah.
Watch your mouth.
Yeah. Don't say nothing else.
I took that as that. She knows.
But we hope, again, we're in this
my favorite
month of gratitude that, you know, you all will take some time to enjoy your families. Unless your family stress you out, then don't go with your family yet. Like we talking about self-care. This is this is your season of no. Yep. I'm not coming.
I'm not doing it.
So if your family, hey Kevin Thorpe is here. Oh, excuse me. Reverend. Kevin T. Thorpe. And the T stands for
the
Kelli in season and out of season.
Yes.
So it's congratulations to Reverend Kevin T. Thorpe on his ordination. And also his assignment.
Yes. Be in prayer. So proud and so excited for all that is taking place. Somebody I think put in our family chat about turkeys being on sale. If anybody needs turkeys, I think they are. I don't even remember where it was. I just knew we didn't need no turkey for breakfast, so I kind of overlooked the comment.
No,
we just need some eggs and bacon, sausage, and grits. So you know, all is welcome. If you're looking for breakfast Thursday morning before you eat dinner, before you eat lunch, self-care, come join us. 9:00 breakfast starts. Breakfast goes till it's all gone.
We do start putting people out about noon though.
Yeah, I mean, we always say that, but you know, you're welcome.
Yeah. Kevin says, thank you, and Sharon and he and Sharon love us.
Oh, bless y'all.
And we pray for Sharon. We pray for Sharon.
Yes. And
continue to do God's work, Sharon.
Yes. So we will be for anyone who is free this weekend, we will be celebrating pastoral anniversary at Shepherd Flock this Sunday at 10:30. So anyone who's free and available, we invite you to come and worship with us on that Sunday morning. If you can't be there, we just ask sometime around 10:30, 11 o'clock, point your hand toward Durham a little bit, say a prayer, and, you know, wish us Godspeed and keep us in your prayers.
Congratulations again on 13 years of pastor in church.
Yes, 13 years. Been a wonderful journey. Looking forward to what God has in store as he continues.
Scandal free.
Oh yeah, scandal free. Yeah, we're gonna stay like that.
Scandal free.
Yes, scandal free.
Hey, you know, you might be, you have the complexion for the protection. Well, scandals don't even matter. No matter.
Oh,
Let's see.
no, I ain't gonna, no, we ain't gonna try.
Don't test it. Don't test it.
We ain't gonna test it.
Don't test
We
it.
ain't gonna test it. No, we ain't gonna do that. But yeah, that is true. Um,
But yeah, if you are available, join us. Dinner will be served afterwards.
Yes.
It's kind of a highlight all the time.
Yes. Shout out to Shepherd's Flock for 13 years of wonderful relationship. And, you know, we are getting ready to embark on some renovation and some building. So be looking out to be part of that as well as we continue to do God's work and all that God has called us to do. So we're thankful about that. I will say, you know, it was satisfying and somewhat gratifying to, you know, to do the work that we did, working, going up to the election, with, you know, all of the talking about the election on here when we weren't on here. It just wasn't a conversation we have here, but, you know, trying to share and trying to give people information, make sure they had the information that they needed, answering questions, getting people registered. And so, I mean, it was definitely, you know, I'm grateful that we did that. And, you know, now the goal is to continue that excitement and, you know, not let people get discouraged. And, you know, there was, it's sometimes, and it's kind of like you say, you hate to, and we never want to minimize, you know, the feeling and what took place and all of those reactions and emotions. But at some point we do need to kind of look at the silver linings and the hope and what can be. So we definitely, you know, don't want to get so discouraged that we just, you know, give all up, but allow that to give us momentum and allow that maybe to energize us and make us want to do something. If we haven't done anything, and if we have done something, make us want to do more to continue on. So
Speaking of that, I am running for president of the NAACP of the Raleigh Apex chapter.
hopefully,
can't really tell you much more about that. The election was supposed to be Sunday, but it's been kind of halted. But I found out another thing. I'm in the group of ladies supposed to be like-minded ladies. There's 5,000 people in that group who are in this area. And so when I asked in that group about you know, if there were any members, because, you know, I'm out here campaigning, I'd like your vote. There was not one person who was a member of the NAACP.
Jesus.
But these are our allies. These are our allies. So yeah, it was another wake-up call. Like, if there is a solution that requires other people to do something, be something, bring something to have that solution be successful, it's not a solution. It's not our solution. Like, no one's coming to save us. We are here we have to do the work to save ourselves. So that was just another wake-up call. Just another wake-up call. Had one nationally and then I had one locally. And I'm not gonna hold that really as a high standard, because there was so many times that I could have been a member of the NAACP and I wasn't for my own reasons. So I'm gonna I'm gonna allow people some grace. But not one, not one of the 5,000, not one.
Not one.
So yeah. So anyway, I will let you know how that turns out. Maybe when we come back, we'll have some resolution on that. But if you know anybody that is a member of the Raleigh Apex chapter of the NAACP, I am running for president. He's running to be my vice president.
I'm VP Harris.
He's running to be the vice. So again, this is work that we know will be important these next 4 years. Moving forward, it is a branch that is on the move, that we know that can be a light in this community, and a beacon nationwide. And so we're pushing forward to continue to do this work, and for us to be at the helm.
Yes.
of that work.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
get the word out.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to start winding down.
Oh,
Did you have something else?
We got plenty of time.
No. You have something else?
I did. I want to say, so we, you were talking about, a while ago with the cute little sayings, and I tried to remember this Sunday. So I did mention on Sunday that, one of the things, and when we were talking tonight about controlling this narrative and making sure, there was, when we leave our house, we go up 401. And there was someone that, had all of their Trump paraphernalia hanging on their fence for the whole time before the election. And then immediately when it was over, there's a sign up that says Jesus is King or something like something.
That's exactly
the
what
reference.
It says. That's what it says.
So, and there's a lot of people and these evangelicals and these white Christian nationalists that are going to try to say, this is God's will, this, all of this. First of all, shut all of that down immediately. Shut all that down. Because, and again, we have to be able to control the narrative. God is omniscient, but there's difference in a omniscient God and a God who is an orchestrator. God is omniscient in knowing everything that's going to take place. We always say that. God knows any and everything, knows tomorrow, knows yesterday, knows what's going to take place. But God is not a God who orchestrates. He's a God of omniscience, who knows all things and all sovereign. But God did not orchestrate what took place last week. People orchestrated that. Just as God gives us free will to follow him, not follow him. Just as God gives us free will to accept the word, don't accept the word. God gives us free will to be part of this kingdom, don't be part of this kingdom. God says you have that free will to do what you like, but just no salvation is offered to you. Same thing on last Tuesday. Everybody had their right. Everybody had their free will. So this was not a God orchestrated movement last week. So, all of the, so-called evangelicals who want to claim that, God's prayers were answered and all that. No, God is not. That's not how God moves or rolls. But on that same line, when you was talking about sharing those words, this is what I was thinking about. This actually, Reverend Dr. Tracy Blackman shared this, and it's called, there's a saying that called spiritual bypassing. Spiritual bypassing. And it is a defense mechanism involving the use of spiritual language to avoid sitting with our emotional wounding. It is the denial of our human experience of pain and grief by overlaying them with church talk such as God is good all the time. And it's not just for last Tuesday. I mean, that can be said about all the things that happen in our life when we have trials and tribulations, when we go through storms of life. We do God really a disservice when we avoid sitting with that emotional wounding and those things that we have. It is denial of our human experience to overlay those things and just, say, oh, I get over it. God's in control. It's going to be all right. Now we know those things, and we know that God is able, and we know God is good, and we know those things, but we don't allow that to bypass how we feel or minimize how someone else feels. So God helps us through those situations and helps us process all of those things. So we want to make sure we're not trying to put a Band-Aid over, a surgical wound or a Band-Aid over something that a Band-Aid cannot handle. So it's kind of what you were saying earlier about, it's not about the elephant or the donkey, it's about the lamb. I mean, we know that, but
we know that. But you're not finna gaslight me.
Yeah. Because what you're doing
You're not finna gaslight me.
And what you're doing is, again, this is this Christian nationalism who, is not putting what God put first, which was all of God's creation, not a nation, not a place. God put people first, not a nation. And God was there for the people, not the nation, to empower the people, not the nation. So again, part of this is, we just have to continue to shut down the disinformation and, make sure that people just aren't allowed to say what they need to say or not say anything that they want to say. So, oh, now I'm nervous. The great
Because
producer.
Eric shut up.
Yep, the great producer. So, Mr. Eric, good to see you this evening. Now it's time to tighten up a little bit. And
Yeah, so I'm gonna put the scripture that I mentioned before when we were talking about abortion and my interpretation of it. And read Numbers 5 verses 11 through 31. I'm gonna put that in the chat when you get a minute. And let's talk about your interpretation of that.
yes,
We're not gonna again allow them to, because we know what they will do is weaponize this word. That's what they did. That's what the slave owners did. They weaponized the Bible.
mm-hmm.
That's why you got to read it.
Yep.
Study to show your own self-approved.
Yes,
right? That's what we do. So read it. Quit letting them hold that over your head that this is whatever. Because I mean, they told you how to do it in the Bible.
Yes,
in the Old Testament.
And a couple months ago, we went through that whole piece about how that was really just all about racism anyway.
Right. So, all right. So we are going to get ready to get out of here. I haven't packed anything. I've been talking to Aunt Shang about packing for probably about a week. So I think she is ready. I am not ready. But I am going to get a suitcase ready and I will be out of here. Again, looking forward to doing that. Like I said, for my it's funny, we're talking about disembarking because we're actually going on a cruise. So we're taking a cruise. And I've been hearing some grumblings out in the ocean. Hope they're not coming our way.
I don't do stuff like that.
Whatever, we get on the ship, and if we just sail around Florida.
Don't want no wave, don't want no mess. This ship on no bullshit.
Right.
Don't
start no ship.
Don't start no ship while we out here on this darn ship. Yeah. The weather need to cooperate and do what it's supposed to do. Or and we're gonna pray for this airplane flight. Or, our vacation all gonna be on the ground, on foot.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm disembarking. I'm going to once again just go back to the self-care. Again, take care of yourself. Do whatever it is that you have to do. Again, don't let people gaslight you about how you feel. How you feel is how you feel. Take some time to notice what your body is doing. Relax that tension in your shoulders. Like I said, unclench that jaw. Take a deep breath. Let it out. Feel what you feel. Take care of yourself. Self-care is not selfish. It is not self-indulgence. It is much needed. It is needed now more than ever. Look out for yourself. Protect yourself. Stay safe.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Thank you for that, Kevin. He added some to your comment. So yeah, this self-care, we all need those spaces. I was able to find some of the moral leaders of this nation on, last Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, up until, today. There's been a couple meetings that I was able to be on, part of some Zooms, and it felt real good being in those spaces where, you felt the energy and the strength of a whole lot of like-minded people who justice-minded and moral-minded and concerned for, everybody has a right to live mindset type of people. So find those spaces that, can help you. Find those spaces that, can give you that comfort and that healing. So they're there. Know your people, know where they are, and
find your community.
Find your community. And, there's nothing, it may take some people longer than others. So, but we're going to continue to love on each other, lean on each other, and we will, continue to rise, and we will continue to fight. and continue to do what we do. And so God can do what God can do. So again, we won't be on for Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone. If you're in the area, come see us for breakfast. Enjoy some breakfast, enjoy a little fellowship, then go back to your house for dinner. Invite us to dinner. We may
My mama said she ain't cooking.
shout out. We're gonna make sure that she goes somewhere though. But yeah,
I'm just saying, is that for real? Is that April Fool's?
no.
Let me know. Let me know in the chat.
I'm sure you better not tell you is what's gonna come up in the chat.
Is that April Fool's? Let me know.
Not April Fool's. It's November Truth.
Mm-hmm.
Is what that is. Is what that is.
True Vimble.
True Vimble. Exactly. All right. Again, thanks everyone for joining. See y'all on the I don't know what the Thursday in December. And until then, enjoy your voyages and enjoy. And we'll see you on the other side.
Bye.